Hi everybody. I want to talk to you guys today about using our pronouns to work with a different type of verb. We already worked with the verb ser, which is technically considered an irregular verb, but now we're going to move on to verbs that have rules when you work with them. So right now we're going to look at the ones that end with AR. You've probably noticed already that different verbs have different endings. There are three different major categories of verbs in Spanish: those that end with AR, those that end with ER, and those that end with IR. So today we're going to look at, in the present tense, when you're working with an AR verb, how do you make it so that I say I speak instead of to speak? When the verb ends with an AR, ER, or IR, it's in its infinitive form, or to do the action. So let's go ahead and get started with AR verbs. Okay, so these are called regular verbs, and basically what we want to do is remember our pronouns, who could possibly do the action. So these are our pronombres personales, which we've done before. We've got yo for I, tú for you, your friend, él for he, ella for she, ud for usted or you formal. Over to the right-hand side, you've got nosotros, which is we. And remember, if you change the OS to an AS, you've got we, just girls. Below that, we've got vosotros, which is all of you, my friends. And if we change that to an AS, vosotras, it's all of you, my friends, girls. And then the last box, we've got ellos and ellas, which is they, masculine and feminine, respectively. And then UDS, which is ustedes, all of you, formal. So let's take a look at the next page. Every single verb has two parts: the part that comes before the AR, ER, IR, and the part that comes after, which is the ending. So we've got lots of different examples of AR verbs. Some of the most common ones I've included here on the page. You've got hablar, to speak; bailar, to dance; estudiar, to study. And this one is a cognate because it looks like study. Trabajar, to work; caminar, to walk. Second side, you've got comprar, to buy; cantar, to sing; cenar, to eat dinner; contestar, to answer; and buscar, to look forward, to search. So anytime you're working with a verb in Spanish, you're going to remove the ending. So what we're going to do with these verbs is take the AR away, which is what we call the ending, and then we're just going to be left with our stem. So what happens is each person, each subject pronoun from those original boxes is going to get a different ending to do the action. So the yo form, after the AR is removed, will put an O on the end. The to form, after removing the AR, will have an AS added to the end. Él, ella, and usted, you remove the AR and just slide an A back in place. The nosotros form, the we form, you'll remove the AR and add AMOS, amos. The vosotros form gets an AIS with an accent, notice. And then finally the ellos, ustedes form will get an AN on the ending. So I want to show you what this actually looks like. Here's our first example, hablar. So this means to speak. If I want to make this I speak, the yo form, I remember telling you guys that we needed to make sure that we did review of where the pronouns go, which boxes. So this first box, the upper left-hand corner, is always the yo or I form. So to say I speak, you'll say yo hablo with an O on the end. The to form, the you form, like you, my friend, speak, is always the second box. It's tú hablas with an AS. He or she or you formal speak or speaks is the bottom left box, and this is habla, so it would sound like él habla, he speaks; ella habla, she speaks; or usted habla, you speak. The right-hand side, which when I went over pronouns with you, we said that we always have the plural of each singular pronoun right next to it. So this right-hand side is all the groups of people. So upper right-hand box is always nosotros, or we. So if I want to say we speak, I'll say nosotros hablamos. For all of you, my friends, speak, I will say vosotros habláis. And then finally, for they or all of you formal speak, it's ustedes or ellos hablan. Here's another example, working with studying. So I study, estudio. You study, estudias. He studies, she studies, or you study formally, estudia. We study, nosotros estudiamos. You all study, my friends, vosotros estudiáis. And then they or all of you formal study, estudian. Last example, to dance, bailar. So I want you to think in your head as I'm going through who's doing the action. Think about who belongs in which box, who belongs with which ending. So if I say, yo bailo, what does that mean? Tú bailas. Who's doing the dancing? Baila. Who could be dancing? Él baila. Ella baila. Usted baila. On the right-hand side, who is it that's dancing if I say, nosotros bailamos? If I say, vosotros bailéis. And then if I say, ellos bailan. Ustedes bailan. Let's do a few examples together. How do we know which is the correct form? So before we go into these, remember, look at your endings. Which person went with which ending? Where was the original endings group? So we've got o, as, a, amos, ice, and on. Compare them to the original grouping. Who gets these endings? Yo, tú, él, ella, usted. Nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ustedes. Okay? They always correspond. They always go together. Verbs are always grouped in these 6 boxes, and they always correspond to these 6 pronoun groups.